Well, we look at that. He's so excited about today's Mom Food Chronicle that he literally wanted to get a front row seat. Sorry, this video is a little bit on the late side today. I just been feeling kind of lazy this morning. I actually had a kind of a long night. Not a bad night, but I had dinner with my folks last night, which did feature which will feature today's titular mom food, which I will be getting into momentarily. But it was a late night. Like, we didn't eat till like 7, 8 o'clock at night, and we wanted to wait for my other cousin, also coming from Colorado, to come in on the airport. And she didn't get into like 10, 20 at night. So I went to bed at like midnight. Actually, let me adjust my seat for my home. So yeah, needless to say, I'm feeling kind of tired. I'm feeling kind of lazy, but that's okay because it's a sign that I actually had a pretty wonderful night last night. But I should take those feelings aside in order to make this video and simply mow them down. Been a while since I've rocked this shirt, isn't it? Hasn't it been? Happy Friday, everybody. So yes, yesterday I had dinner with my folks, which featured my cousin from Massachusetts, my aunt, my uncle from Colorado, and my mom, my dad, and myself. And before I get to the mom food, I want to say it was nice seeing them again, having dinner and everything. And after dinner, we played spades again. I did not win, so I don't remember why I don't like that game. And we talked, and actually we got to say, because I've been to Colorado multiple times, and we talked about white water rafting, which I actually have done before. I have, and I remember when I did it, it was like my mother, my brother, and myself. My grandmother on my mother's side, and I guess my step grandfather on my mother's side. It's complicated. Anyway, so I remember we had to get up at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning to drive like 3 hours to get to wherever we had a white water raft. It was a long day. We went to we stopped somebody at dinner and we waited for like 45 minutes for pizza. We saw this one pizza place, but they completely forgot we ordered anything at all, so we just left. It was a rough day. Needless to say, I don't have the fondest of memories of whitewater rafting, but it's definitely the sort of thing where if I'm given another opportunity to do it again, yeah, I'll do it. I'll give it another shot. Why not? I mean, I actually remember it kind of being fun, or not for the long. I mean, I was like 6, 7, 8 years old. I was really young, and come on, being in a car for 3 hours, getting up that early in the morning, who's gonna want to do that? Needless to say, it wasn't what you would consider the best day at that age. But again, if I have another opportunity to go whitewater rafting, sure, I'll do it. Although, a few years later when I went back to Colorado, I had the opportunity to spend like sort of a weekend with my uncle/godfather. And I was given a choice, either whitewater rafting or the hot springs you can find anywhere in Colorado. I'm like, hot springs? Yeah, sorry. I mean, I'll give whitewater rafting another shot. But if I have to choose between that and going to nice, refreshing hot springs, I'm choosing the hot springs. Because, man, nothing beats like jumping in, sort of dipping yourself in a nice hot pool, like water, immersing yourself. And yeah, because, they're hot springs, there's going to be a smell of sulfur, but that's part of the charm. For those of you who don't know, sulfur smells like, rotten eggs. But I didn't mind it. It was fun. Not to mention the place we went to that had the hot springs, they literally had a tube water slide that had like the hot springs water like that you slide down. It was amazing. So yeah, that was definitely some fun memories there. I actually remember like my uncle and I got up like really early. It was like one diner for like, I remember like having ham and eggs. That was nice. And We just had a blast. It was fun. I think I was in 6th grade, or no, I was done with 6th grade when this happened. So yeah, that was all it was. No, but that being said, up we get into today's titular mom food, which is a mom food that I should tell you right now. This is the mom food where I actually remember being very, very, very little, getting sick after eating it, and for years I would avoid it at all costs because it's an innate human response to do that. Something causes us some sort of harm, physical or emotional. You want to avoid it, so yeah. And the food in question that we had last night for dinner was spaghetti and meatballs. Yeah. I had gotten sick at being very little. I actually still remember throwing up into the toilet being very little after eating spaghetti and meatballs. I'm like, I never want to have it again. So I avoid it at all costs and ever. And funny enough, what made me decide to try it again was there was a brief time in my youth I actually was in the Boy Scouts, and we had a spaghetti dinner. And so I'm thinking to myself, you know what? It's either do this or starve. I see my parents eat it a lot whenever we go out for dinner. At the Sorges in Corny especially. Why not? I'll try it. And I really liked it. And haven't gone back since. But that being said, you're probably wondering how my mother makes it. Well, because let's be honest, spaghetti and meatballs is a wide range of types of long noodles, types of tomato sauces, what meats you're using, all sorts of stuff, right? Well, this recipe is actually something that my father actually grew up on because his mother would make it. My grandmother being the awesome grandma that she is, she gave this recipe to my mom, and so in a small way, this is part of my grandma's mom food too. I think I came out wrong, but yeah, so you probably want to know the recipe. Well, here's the thing. Normally, whenever we do have spaghetti and meatballs, and as an added bonus, we also had garlic bread too. So yes, spaghetti, meatballs, and garlic bread. So yeah, I never got sick eating garlic bread, by the way, but I do have to feature garlic bread in one of these mom food videos one of these days. So might as well kill technically 3 birds with 1 stone. Right. So, spaghetti, meatballs, and garlic bread. What do you start with? Well, let's start with the garlic bread because that's obviously going to be the sort of side of it all. Really, the way my mom makes garlic bread really would not constitute as anything that is traditional. In fact, a lot of garlic bread purists out there would take what I'm about to say and scoff at it. But what my mother would do is she would take a loaf of Italian bread, and she would slice it into, I'd say about 11 slices of bread maybe. They're pretty thick, maybe this big, I guess. So they're definitely not thin, but they're not gigantically thick either. And down each and every slice of the interior of the bread, she would put in lots of butter and chopped garlic. She would wrap that in foil and bake it at 350 for, I don't think she ever really said how long she put it in there for, but that's pretty much what she did. What you have is a little, the actual outside crust, that's the actual crunch part of it, but the inside is really, you know what, I know a lot of people don't like this word, but it's really moist garlic bread, but in a really good way. Wow, I really can't say that in any way that's not sounding dirty. But yeah, there's bits of chopped garlic in there, and butter, and there's always butter on the side. You want to put more butter on it because butter does make everything better. It's one of those. It just has that power. I don't know why. And yeah, so that's the garlic bread. And needless to say, I made garlic bread that way before. I made garlic bread other ways, but And even though that's not remotely how you make garlic bread, traditionally, means mom food. Of course they have to like it. But let's get into the actual meat and potatoes, or should I say the meatballs and spaghetti. So, what type of noodles does my mother use? Well, for the most part, at least, I don't know if she used these noodles last night, but traditionally she likes to use angel hair for the type of pasta. Yeah, I should also tell you this is all store-bought pasta, definitely store-bought sauce. So, yeah, a lot of Italian people are probably upset by that, but don't worry. I grew up with it. Of course, I have a soft spot for it, but if you don't like that, I totally get it. So she would use angel hair. I'm pretty sure last night it was straight up spaghetti that she used. Maybe it was her. I think it might have been angel hair because it was really thin to be spaghetti. So yeah, it was angel hair she used last night. And the store-bought. Now I mentioned store-bought sauce. Yeah. This is going to sound doubly ludicrous coming from someone who's from upstate New York, but I grew up eating Prego. Yep. We were a Prego household, which again, I'm from upstate New York, which is near where the store brand Ragu was invented. So, I may very well be speaking blasphemy right now. I don't care. So, because Prego is the best. I don't care what anyone says. So, you probably, Prego is a pretty above average hot sauce at least, but is that it? What you? I'm getting to the meatballs, don't worry. Because it wasn't just meatballs, it was several things. Well, first I should get into, the meatballs themselves, because, these meatballs were legitimately homemade. These were homemade. If nothing else, they were homemade, okay? So, meatballs obviously need meat, and so my mother would use ground beef. No other meat. No ground pork, no ground veal, no ground chicken, no ground turkey, none of that stuff. 100% ground beef. So, pretty sure the ratio might have been like 80-20. I don't know. In terms of like fats and lean meat, whatever. Now, obviously, to make meat, obviously you need meat to make meatballs, but you need something for them to adhere. So, my mother, the recipe included, breadcrumbs. Sometimes she would use rich crackers along with breadcrumbs. That's pretty cool. Rich crackers are awesome. She'd use Parmesan cheese, Italian seasoning. Obviously, you need an egg in order to bind everything together. And chop up some onions. Dice some onions and roll them in meatballs. She'd bake them, or at least brown them, for a little bit. And in a giant slow cooker, she'd put the meatballs in there, along with, get this, Italian sausage and pork short ribs, and then pour Prego on all over that, and let it stew for hours and hours and hours. All of a sudden, that store-bought Prego sauce is now a sauce that if you had, you'd probably want to drink with a straw. That's how good it is. So, yes, that's how my mom made, spaghetti and meatballs. And I keep telling my mom to use this, but I know for a fact she didn't do it last night, she never saves the pasta water. I keep telling her to save the pasta water, but she doesn't save the pasta water. You gotta save the pasta water. She doesn't do that. So, if you want me mad at my mom for anything, really be mad about not saving the pasta water, okay? Okay. So, we had salad, of course, you have healthy vegetables. And, it was a wonderful dinner. And after we had spaghetti, meatballs, and garlic bread and salad for dinner, we had, my mother made Rice Krispie treats, which, that's technically a mom food, but should I make that a mom food video one day? Actually, there is. You know what? I'll make Rice Krispie treats its own mom food video, its own Mom Food Chronicle video, because there actually is some significance about it. That's actually one thing I've noticed whenever I do these Mom Food Chronicle videos, is that there's always something. I hope I'm using this word right. Memorial. Like, there's something that it was significant in my life that I remember involving this food, and that's why it adds significance to the food itself, I guess, if that makes sense. But, in this case, I originally, hated spaghetti and meatballs because I got sick after eating one time, and, I tried it again, and, I like it, and, I love it. So, there you go. That's pretty good. And, I'll save Rice Krispie treats for another video. So, so you now know how my mother made her spaghetti, meatballs, and garlic bread. Or for some of you purists out there, it's how to not do that properly. But, again, it's mom food, guys. Yeah, it may not be the most traditional thing. It may not even be, it probably wouldn't even be considered the best if it was like at a contest or whatever. But it's food that I grew up with. It's food that I like. If I have an opportunity to have it, sure, why not? It's fun to live in old memories in that regard. So, although, again, if you want to be mad at my mom about not saving the pasta water, I totally get it. Oh, I'm going to yell that a lot, probably. It's a good thing my mom isn't on social media or anything because, man, she'd get hounded for it. Anyway, like, favorite, share, hit the subscribe button, follow me on social media platforms, on YouTube. I'm very humble to make this video for all of you guys watching today. Hopefully you all have a wonderful, wonderful Friday. And remember, if you guys want to talk or chat with me or to lend you knows they're back, take care and make good choices. And you know what? My godparents are actually making dinner night when we're all together. Get ready for another Mom Food Chronicle. I think. I completely forgot to talk about hot ones, didn't I? Sorry.